The brand new mainline installment in the Mario... Okay, it's future me. It's currently 11:24 p.m. April 1st. The new direct is mere hours away from now. I'm currently tired, and I don't think I'll have enough time to fully commit to my plan for this video, but you know, it's kind of sad, but whatever. I wanted to make 24 total retro track predictions, but past me will explain that a bit better, but it ain't looking like that's gonna happen anymore. So I just cut the video after I was done talking about the Lightning Cup. This is my first fully scripted and recorded video ever. I am not used to this. I stutter and made a lot of mistakes throughout the video, so I mean, unless that bothers you like a lot, please ignore them. Oh, and just a heads up, for like a few of the first tracks, I placed the wrong music for their respective portions, only because I didn't want to spoil their placements, but I realized that was just kind of dumb because I can just reveal them at the same time, so. But I think I said enough around now. I'll let the video play, and I'll see you in the ending, if you stuck through. The brand new mainline installment in the Mario Kart franchise is coming soon on the Nintendo Switch 2. And whether you consider Tour a mainline game, it could be either Mario Kart 9 or 10. I'm hearing if you call MKX, you get bitch. But I'm not here to discuss Tour's relevancy. I'm here to talk about probably the most interesting part about each Mario Kart game besides the gameplay. That's the track. The tracks get to showcase how truly creative the Nintendo devs can be, or at least for this video, how they used to be, since I'm going to be talking about the retro tracks. Talking about the nitro tracks could be an idea for another video, but I'm not that creative to come up with brand new tracks myself like that. Anyways, I personally don't think Nintendo's going to go back to the base 16, Nitro, and Retro tracks moving forward in the series. I'm just going to assume every mainline game going forward is going to have a base 24. I just, you know, the more the tracks, the better. Like, why would we go back? But with this prediction, I wanted it to be half what I personally want and half whatever the hell Nintendo would do. Because I got to be realistic. This isn't a wish list. I'm trying to genuinely pick out which tracks will and won't appear in the base game of the new game. The best thing I tried to do with the prediction video was scale the tracks from how they were in the games they originated from as well. What I mean by that is hold on. Sorry about the peak background music. But getting back on track, what I meant by scaling the tracks from the games they originated from, I mean most Shell Cup tracks should be from the Mushroom Cup, most Banana tracks should be from the Flower Cup, and so on. Now I say mostly because Nintendo doesn't always stick to this, but shit, it's what I'm gonna roll with for this video. With all that out the way, let's see what I think is gonna be in the Shell Cup. Starting this off, I think Peach's Circuit is a good enough starter track. It was last seen in Tour. Yes, it's the obligatory boring circuit track, but literally every other Shell Cup we've ever had always has a circuit track in it. DS had SNES Mario Circuit 1, Wii had N64 Mario Raceway, 7 had N64 Luigi's Raceway, and 8 had GBA Mario Circuit. I think Peach's Circuit could definitely get that MK8 remake juice that tracks like Snowland or Cheeseland got, and seeing that it was remade in Tour with an all-new look, I can definitely see it getting a nice remake in this one. This would also mean that we would get a new Peach's Castle design for the 793rd time! Isn't that crazy? I just love how she can simply never make up her mind on how her castle should look. But besides that, we get some justice for GBA Super Circuit. The game had pretty cool visuals, and the remakes can barely match it. Ribbon Road and Riverside Park get a pass, but Sunset Wilds and Sky Garden and MK8, PC3 and Wii, and get that watered down shitty colors off my screen. Back to Peach's Circuit though. I just think it'll fit fine, just fine as the first track. Nothing else to add. The track following Peach's Circuit would be Koopa Troopa Beach, last seen in Mario Kart 7. This would be our obligatory beach track. There's always at least one of them in each retro selection. And out of all the beach tracks in the Mushroom Cup to pick from, the one I want the least is Shy Guy Lagoon. Keep that boring slugfest far away from my retro track picks. Peach Beach from Double Dash was an honorary mention. I think it could have been a nice fit as well, but Koopa Troopa Beach just works for me. I think the track is easy enough to fit in the Shell Cup in my opinion too, and it'd be nice to see the very rare good Mario Kart 7 underwater inclusion by letting us drive under the shortcut, so for the people that could make it to the cool ass shortcut compared to those who could, don't create such large gaps between the racers. Plus, oh my god, all of the beach tracks seen in this franchise are so good, bro. I'd be like... I'm such a sucker for the music in these games, man, I'll tell you. But that's my track selection for the Shell Cup. Moving on. My Guy Bazaar finally gets the remake it deserves. Besides Tour, this track has not touched a new game, and that's crazy to me. Even though the only new game since its release was Mario Kart 8, but the fact that it didn't even make the BCP is still crazy to me. This track, deadass, is like a top 3 Mushroom Cup track in the series, without a doubt. Argue with the wall. I just feel like now is the time to put some respect on its name. And I really want to see the bazaar, the colorful green hazard pots, the beautiful nighttime atmosphere, and the peak lighting section in the end towards the fireworks with the moon ore farming in the back, and glorious Switch 2 graphics. Oh my gosh. Somebody's gonna have to stop me for the pure glaze I'm gonna give this track when it's remade. Let me mention that I'm like 100% sure this is gonna be remade in the new one. Like, this is one of the few picks I am like 100% guaranteed it makes it. Like I said in the intro, half of these are what I want, what I think Nintendo would do. Since Shaka Bazaar didn't make Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I got a good feeling it'll be in this new one. But wrapping up our third track in the Shell Cup, let's see what we end with. Ending off the Shell Cup with the long-awaited and most deserved Toad's Factory. Just like Shy Guy Bazaar, this is what I feel like is another 100% guaranteed track. There is no universe out there, and I mean no universe, where Toad's Factory doesn't make it to the new Mario Kart. I personally have a phenomenal feeling it's finally gonna make its grand return. I've said earlier that Shy Guy Bazaar is a top 3 Mushroom Cup track. Well, this shit right here is the GOAT Mushroom Cup track, undefeated to this day. Argue with another wall. In any case, what's there not to enjoy about this track though? Anyways, the rest are reward item boxes in the beginning. The dock section is nice. In fact, the song loops every time you exit the speed ramp right here. It's all too good. My opinion is the best way to end a retro Mushroom Cup. So this is where it's gonna go on my list. And this is my Shell Cup. What do you think? So far, I like to think I'm cooking. But moving on, we're gonna ramping up the difficulty ever so slightly. Moving on to the Banana Cup, I'm thinking it'll start off with Wii's Mario Circuit, last seen in Mario Kart Wii. Now, before I get booed to all high hell, because apparently Mario Circuits are the worst thing ever to some people, this is one of the picks that I think Nintendo would rather bring back more than me wanting its return. I don't think the Mario Circuits are the most boring track either. If anything, I think they're pretty overhated in that department. They do their job at being good enough starter tracks, but at the same time, they're still not the most hype shit either, so it's not like I'm going to be defending my GOAT on that. It came down to either this or MK7's Mario Circuit because of the only other unique Mario Circuits that haven't been remade yet. Keyword unique. Totally not excluding SNES Mario Circuit 4, you copy pasted flipped upside down bastard. But I chose Wii's because I plan bigger things for MK7 later in these track selections. And to be honest, personally, I'm pretty fond of Wii's Mario Circuit music anyways. I really just love the little record scratches that play in the background of the song. Man, the DJ was really hitting that shit. I can't even lie to you. But other than the track itself, I love to see what they do with the new version of this song. Between this or Peach's Circuit is probably the weakest picks, I'd say, but can't say the same for what's next. Delfino Square. Oh my sweet, sweet Delfino Square is the second track in my Shell Cup. It was last seen in Mario Kart Wii and it never even got a toy remake, shockingly. I guess I forgot to mention Toad's Factory also never got a toy remake, which in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure this is just like a obvious thing, if they weren't remade in Tour, the chances of them being remade in this game is probably boosted just a tad bit more than others. But man, I gotta ask, do you like Mario Sunshine? Because holy shit, the way Nintendo loves to glaze the Piantas. They've been in both Daisy Cruiser and Peach Beach and Double Dash, Delfino Square and DS, Coconut Mall, Daisy Circuit and Delfino Pier and Wii, Sunshine Airport, DS's Cheap Cheap Beach and Super Bell Subway and Mario Kart 8. But then they're still not playable, so shit. Does Nintendo care at all? Are they gonna just keep them jailed as NPC crowd bystanders forever? I mean, if you ask me, shit. Nintendo, let them race for once, god damn it. But calm down. Pianta rant aside, this track works as our small difficulty spike. The track is decently long, the small town part requires you to drive more precisely, and the track has a couple of different pathways and shortcuts, with the bridge at the end being a pretty interesting idea in itself. With all that said, I think it's fair to leave it in the Banana Cup. The track isn't too easy, but it's also not egregiously difficult either, so it works here. And this is my first case of breaking my rules a bit with following the cup the track originated from. Like I said in the intro, Nintendo does this a couple of times as well, so it's not that far-fetched, but Thwomp Ruins makes it in the Banana Cup. Even though it's originally a Mushroom Cup, it should have been in the Shell Cup for this game, but hey, it works for me in the Banana Cup, so we move. Besides that, Thwomp Ruins is a pretty interesting track overall. Last seen in the most previous Mario Kart game, Mario Kart 8, I think it does a decent job with the zero gravity sections. The Thwomps are a good enough beginning hazard, and the part right here with the different paths you can take is pretty interesting as well. Let the thin boulder roll down and make your way for the glider section, or take the underwater path if you suck. Dirty bottom pather. And you still have your zero gravity ramps on the left and right, so I mean it's pretty good. This is a track I can excuse being in the Banana Cup because in my opinion it does feel more like a second cup track to me anyways. Like, it's fine as a Mushroom Cup, Shell Cup ender, but I think it works better in a Banana Cup if you ask me. Not much else for me to add, but let's find out what I ended my Banana Cup with. Ending my Banana Cup with Maku Woohoo, last seen in Mario Kart 7. Now it might sound crazy to end a Banana Cup with the Star Cup track, but in my opinion I just prefer Maku Woohoo over Woohoo Loop, which was a Flower Cup track, and if anything, it was in this spot before I reviewed both tracks again and remembered how much more peak Maku Woohoo is over Woohoo Loop. I just prefer the interesting separate pathways and shortcuts, the gorgeous sunset, the cave section, and the glider section at the end. It all feels like a grand journey that I just prefer in Maku Woohoo over Woohoo Loop. But that's not to say that Woohoo Loop isn't also a phenomenal track. Woohoo Loop doesn't have probably one of the best gliding sections in the entire series in it, so I mean, yeah. And if I'm being honest, if we were to get only one of these Wii Resort tracks back, I'd prefer Maku Woohoo over Woohoo Loop any day of the week. But that's not to say that Woohoo Loop can't come in like DLC or something. I mean, hell, looking at how much Nintendo is pushing out Mii's as of recent, with Miitopia getting a Switch release, Mii's appearing in the most recent Direct, and now a Tomodachi Life 2 announcement, I think it fits pretty perfect to bring at least one of the Wii Resort tracks back, now more than ever. I was at one point thinking it could have fit better in the Leaf Cup, because that's where Maku Woohoo originally comes from. It's a Star Cup track. It would make more sense to be there, but I think I saved better options for my Star Cup, and that we'll get to later. Wrapping that up, this is my Banana Cup. I feel like it's pretty solid. Wii Mario Circuit might drag it down just a tad bit, but not too much in my opinion. I think the rest are phenomenal tracks to save it, even if you don't like Wii Mario Circuit. But let's move on to see what's in the Leaf Cup. Alright, now we're getting interesting. Let me hear everybody clap it up for Super Mario Kart with Vanilla Lake 1, last seen in Mario Kart Tour. I think it's kind of sad that the SNES tracks still have 11 total tracks that haven't truly been remade. That's only half true, because 5 of them have, but 6 of them aren't even in Tour. Those tracks being KB1, BC1 and 2, MC4, GV3, and VO2, and here I go choosing one that's already been remade, but not to worry too much on that. I show some love somehow to the non-remade SNES tracks later. But back to Vanilla Lake, I chose this track specifically because we needed an ice theme track. It's the obligatory ice theme track. All of retros usually have one, and it just so happened to be in the Star Cup in Super Mario Kart, making it perfect to leave in my Leaf Cup, making it perfect to leave in my Leaf Cup. Okay, anyways. Oh, but yo, if I didn't like to be corny and unfunny online sometimes, you would have never heard that from me, like, at all. But getting back to Vanilla Lake, this track would need a lot of that Mario Kart 8 remake juice for this to be interesting. The layout isn't the most impressive thing ever. I have no problems with plain round track layouts. It's just, well, no, unless you're Baby Park or Excite Bike Arena. But that's besides the point. At the end of the day, Vanilla Lake 1 is my first track in my Leaf Cup. Let's see what's next. My absolute GOAT, my most prized peak track in Mario Kart 8, Electro-Drome. And yes, it's Electro-Drome, not Dome. You call it Dome, we hit you with hammers. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm not gonna do nothing.
Okay, but deadass, it's Electro-Drome. I don't know why people are still using Dome in the big 2025, but the shit's been out for at least a decade now. Get with the times.
With that aside, Electro-Drome was last seen in, you guessed it, Mario Kart 8. In all seriousness, this is probably the one track I want the most to return. I just have such a personal, maybe I guess it is a personal, but I don't care. I love this track so much. I love the vibe, the atmosphere, the nightclub aesthetic, the colors, the dancing NPCs in the back. I find it funny as fuck that Larry of all people is running this club. How did, ain't he a child? Why? What? I mean, I guess you could chalk it up to just Mario Kart logic and leave it at that, I guess. But oh my god, the music! I'd kill for a new remix of this techno disco vibes that the original get. It's too good. My god, pure ecstasy, I tell you, my god. But I think the track is still fairly popular. Out of the new Mario Kart 8 tracks, I can definitely see it coming back in the base roster. But enough of that, let's see what's next. Mushroom City is next up in my Leaf Cup. Last seen in the game it originated from, Mario Kart Double Dash, this is a track I've wanted in the series again ever since Mario Kart Wii. But since Mushroom Bridge, the easier little brother of the two, was already ported to Tour, Mushroom City never made the cut in, I guess, any of the games. Which is always confusing to me, because Bridge was already in DS, so why choose that one again to bring it to Tour when the better one is still not remade yet? It's crazy to me. Hey, it might seem like I have a problem with Bridge. I really don't. It's just you were already in DS. Let City get its chance. It's okay. To be fair, to me it's the better City track if you ask me. But either way, now is the best time to take that chance. I'll leave this track second and last in the Leaf Cup because at this point forward is where I think the difficulty shifts just a tad bit compared to the tracks that came before, which fits perfectly for the direction I was trying to take this prediction with the scaling. The fast-paced moving vehicles and separate paths make for a solid harder track, which fits perfectly for what I'm trying to do here. And oh my god, this with 24 players? Oh yeah, sign me up. Ending this cup with Wario Shipyard, last seen in Mario Kart Tour. This track is our obligatory underwater themed track. As much as I despise that gameplay gimmick, I can see Nintendo dedicating a course in each retro track going forward to 7's underwater mechanic. Just maybe I'm overthinking this, but seeing that Piranha Plant Slide made it in MK8 and maybe this is Wario Shipyard's time, like Piranha Plant Cove or Water Park are, I guess, the only two other options, but mid versus mid, I'd rather take Wario Shipyard. This track is like a perfect Leaf Cup ender to me. It has all types of interesting hazards and separate routes on the track that makes it all fit so nicely together as the last track in my Leaf Cup. I think it's fairly rated for what it is. I won't go around calling it underrated since I think it's fair to say it's a pretty popular track. What I will say is that Wario probably has the best named tracks in the franchise. Maybe that's a cold take, but Wario Shipyard is no exception to his hits. I gotta give it to him. I gotta give it to him. With all that said and done, here's my Leaf Cup. Give Vanilla Leg 1 some of that beautiful Mario Kart 8 GBA SNES remake juice, and we got a pretty solid cup if you ask me. But the cup next, it's probably my favorite prediction cup that I've made thus far. Dry Ruins is starting off the Lightning Cup. Last seen in Mario Kart Tour, this track is our obligatory desert track. Out of the rest of the Wii Nitro tracks, this is one of the few left that has just never been remade yet. The circuit tracks in Bowser Castle are the only other ones that haven't been touched, but not even in Tour is crazy to me. Now, knowing this is a desert track, I gotta say, this is like probably the only pretty good desert track. The rest are either boring or just straight out bad, but thankfully that's not the case with Dry Ruins. And knowing 24 Racers is going to be a huge gameplay idea in the new game, I can already see half of the roster pushing each other off on that first bridge, or within the actual ruins with the sand overflowing, making lap 2 and 3 even more hectic. I think this would be a fantastic addition, which is personally why I added it here. Though I will say, if this track does get remade, can we get the Hammer Bros Sphinx instead of whoever the hell these guys were? This is such a small nitpick, but I prefer the tour change, so, please, Nintendo, please. It's pretty fitting Dry Ruins was at the start of the Special Cup in Wii, and now it's at the beginning of the Lightning Cup here. It fits right in place for me, and it works for me scaling-wise, so I'll take it. Moving on to the next track, we have Wario's Coliseum. Last seen in Mario Kart Double Dash, in my opinion, another absolutely goated Wario track under his belt. I gotta say, I think this track is fine where it is because it was on the Special Cup and Double Dash, but tracks from Double Dash don't really translate well, difficulty-wise, to modern Mario Kart. And that's just simply because of the controls. Modern Mario Kart is much more non-slippery and actually responsive nowadays, so tracks that were difficult before aren't like the hardest thing ever. I can't say I see it being in a lower cup than this, so it's fine where it is. But then again, maybe on the no rail portions of the track with 24 players will rack up the craziness a bit. But like I said before, the track is fine where it is. Besides the difficulty, this track deserves to come back in some capacity. I always feel so dumbfounded when I realize this track never even got a tour remake. That's insane to me. But now is such a good time to finally give Wario's Coliseum a remake chance. Next up, we have Airship Fortress, last seen in Mario Kart Tour. What is there negative to say about this track, genuinely? Driving towards the Bonsai Bills in the beginning is great, the Monty Mole section is great, the fire pillar inside the airship with 24 players is going to be insane. I mean, like, what is there not to absolutely adore about this track? This shit is like 100% one of the perfect idea meets great execution tracks. The idea being racing through one of Bowser's castle / airships. It's done so well that it honestly needs to be a necessity in every Mario Kart game going forward, if I'm being real. This track is one of those perfect Lightning and Special Cup tracks for a perfect taste of that endgame Mario Kart difficulty. And just like Mario Kart 7, it's going in the third slot of my retro track selection for the Lightning Cup. Ending off my Lightning Cup with GBA Rainbow Road, last seen in Mario Kart Super Circuit. I chose this Rainbow Road specifically for one reason primarily, that being based off the one theory that since Mario Kart 7 brought back SNES Rainbow Road, Mario Kart 8 brought back 64's Rainbow Road, GBA's Rainbow Road is next in line. It only really makes sense. But I said primarily one of the reasons because I'm one of the very few people that actually genuinely like this track. I'm curious to see how they'll handle a track of this caliber in a modern Mario Kart game. Most of the turns were easy to pull off and much better in Super Circuit because you can turn very sharply. And with the jump platforms on the side of the track made GBA's Rainbow Road a very bouncy and unique gameplay style. But then I ask, how would this translate to Mario Kart now? I think I can trust the devs to manage this task somehow, but I really just want the track back. But with that question, it makes you think what they could do for this to work in the game. Besides that, this is my Lightning Cup. You can't look me in the eyes and tell me there is a single miss in any of these 4 tracks right here. There's not a single one. You're lying to yourself if you actually said something, 100%. Moving on to my outro, because this is it. This is my retro track predictions for the new Mario Kart. You want to see something cooler? Had a script ready for half of them, but whatever. Thought I might as well just show it here since it's kind of now or never, but is my full is valid? Is there any tracks you personally like or don't like that's up here? Either way, I appreciate you watching this far. This took so much out of me and my poor phone. I'm like 30% sure I'll do another scripted video ever again, but for now, peace.